Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my March TBR and March is such a special month for me. As you guys, I know I go on about my birthday, but yeah, it's my birthday at the start of the month. We've got London trip on the 2nd of March. We've got Mother's Day on the 10th of March. We've got 3 readathons at least. I know there is one more, but there's probably loads of readathons. I've got some holiday in March. At the end of March, we've got coming up to Easter, and then we've got my mum's birthday at the end of March. It is going to be a busy one. It's literally going to be busy. I have so many plans, and I know that I will end up buying and getting so many books. So I have chosen books that I want to read, that I'm excited about. Birthday month means I'm going with my gut instinct. Yes, I'm doing readathon books. Yes, I'm doing big books. Yes, I'm doing all of those things, but they fit around what I want to read because it's my birthday month, so it's my month where I can think about me. Yes, I'm still, like I said, I've got the big book, I've got a series book, I've got my classic to reread, but they all fit in with what I'm doing. First things first, I will show you the one buddy read that I've got for the month. At the moment, it's one. If any of you want to buddy read any of these books, then I will see if I can fit it in. But like I said, I'm taking the pressure off myself in March. But my buddy read is also one of my seasonal books, and that is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. It's a book that I'm reading with the lovely Jack from Spread Book Joy. It's a book that so many of my friends have raved about. It's witches, it's like hidden among us, it's friendship groups. Known as Her Majesty's Royal Coven, they protect the crown and country from magical forces and otherworldly evil, but their greatest enemy comes from within. There are whisperings of a prophecy that will bring the coven to its knees. All 4 best friends are about to be caught in the centre. Life as a modern witch was never simple, but now it's about to get apocalyptic. The second one is coming out in paperback this year, I think sort of the middle of the year, so I will be definitely reading this, and then if I like it, then I can get the next book in paperback. You know me, if I have them in paperback, I will get the others, but it does mean waiting, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's my only buddy read, and it's one of my seasonal books. So that's one that you're definitely going to hear about. Alright, I'll go on with the seasonal books, then I'll do the TBR jar. TBR jar in February picked 1984, which was the only book on this pile that I was nervous about. I think I've got one more, Madame Bovary, I'm a little bit nervous about. But it actually, even though it was hard-hitting and it gave me nightmares, it was actually a really successful book, and it's one I found very interesting. So you'll see more. I think you would have, if you would have seen my wrap-up part 2, then yeah. My wrap-up part 1, sorry, you would have heard more about it. Anyway, so we'll see what that says in a minute. But let me show you the other 2 seasonal books. The first one is The House at Helligen by Victoria Hawthorne. This is dual timelines. It's witchy. It's not witchy. It's more sort of a bit spooky, I think. But it's got like the big house, which I love the look of. First timeline is in 2019, when Henry Fox is found dead in his ancestral home in Cornwall. The police rule it a suicide, but his pregnant wife Josie believes it was murder. And then they look into that. And then you've got 1881. New bride Eliza arrives at Helligen House with high hopes for her marriage. Yet when she meets the mother-in-law, an icy and forbidding woman, her chance of happy future is dashed. And when Eliza starts to hear voices in the wall of the house, she begins to fear for her sanity and her life. I will link my spring books video down below, if I remember, because my brain's a bit better. But yeah, so that's another one I'm looking forward to. And then the last one of the seasonal books is for the month is The Best Days of Our Life by Lucy Diamond. It's a sibling book. It's like family contemporary. I love Lucy Diamond's works. Her contemporaries are just really, really good. Family saga, family books obviously always had me. The Mackenzies are not your average complicated family, or your average complicated family, knotted together by in-jokes, arguments, and a few closely guarded secrets. 30-something sisters Lenny and Alice became inseparable following the divorce of their parents, with younger brother Will always trying to keep up. They are not perfect, but they love each other most of the time anyway. Then one ordinary summer day, an accident changed their lives, their family forever. Questions arise, guilt surfaces, and secrets begin to emerge. Let's see what this does. I can't put it off any longer. I'm nervous. Let's see what the TBR jar does. Please, TBR jar, like me, please. I'm going to look, mixing it in. I'm going to be doing, oh, that one's picked out. Okay, I know I shouldn't. It's my birthday month. I'm ignoring it. It gave me the Madame Bovary again. I am sorry. I never normally ignore the TBR jar, but I did because it's my birthday month. Can't ignore it a second time. Let's see what this one brings. Between Us. Between Us. Oh, another contemporary. Sod it. I don't care. I got another contemporary. Sod it. And what's even better, this works for the Irish Readathon. Yes! TBR jar did it on second attempt. Right, so this is Between Us by Marley McFarlane. Works for the Irish Readathon because obviously Marley McFarlane Irish. Also works for the prompt of green book. I'm calling this green. I don't care. Blue green, but it's green in my eyes. It's Marley McFarlane's recent book that came out last year. Bought it when we went to Bognor and for a bargain. When Joe and Roisin join their group of friends for a weekend away, it's a triple celebration. A birthday, an engagement and a launch of Joe's new criminal drama on TV. But when Roisin sees secrets she shared with Joe being played out on the TV screen, she knows that Between Us means nothing at all. This looks good. I know that I'm naughty, but those of you that know me will know I am never good. Very rarely. And it fits with the Irish Readathon. I will show you the other books I'm reading for the Irish Readathon shortly. But this is the first year I'm properly doing the Irish Readathon, so I'm happy with myself. Anyway, so that was the TBR jar pick. Now for my classic to reread, I'm rereading Vette by Charlotte Bronte. This is my brand new copy that I got last year, so even though it's a reread, it still goes on my numbers. Ha ha ha, cheat again. I was mixed. Last time I read Vette, it was when I was doing all my Brontes, and yeah, I liked it better than I liked The Professor, but I didn't like it as much as I liked Jane Eyre. So I want to see what I'm going to put on a reread. It is a Bronte, so I had to read a Bronte on my birthday month because I'm named after one of the Brontes. You all know my stories with the Brontes. You all know that Wuthering Heights are Jane Eyre, and Jane Eyre are like my favourite books ever. Vette is based on Charlotte Bronte's personal experience. I don't need to tell you more. It's about a teacher, and like when she was a teacher in Brussels. It's moving. It's repressed feelings. It's really, really good, and I will just literally I did enjoy it, and it just fits perfectly with what I wanted to read. So I'm hoping that I like it, and let's see how I do with it. I'm hoping I like it more on the reread. Persuasion was all right. I don't know how I read Persuasion. I don't think, again, I read it perfectly this month. So I'm hoping reading Vette I can work out. I think I'm going to read a chunk daily, and that definitely feels like it's better than spacing it out. So, but I will just think rather than doing a set amount a day, I think I might just sort of play it by ear. Anyway, so the next one is the only technical series book I think this is the only one that really fits the series for the year. For the month is the Percy Jackson books, The Lost Hero. It is probably, even though I've got my big book from the month, this is probably equal to that in size. It is flipping mahoosive. It is, what the hell? Okay, don't laugh at me. It's like 551 pages, and it's one of the biggest books, and I've also got a big book to reread in March. What have I done to myself? Kill me now. But it's the first in the Heroes of Olympus series. I love Percy Jackson so sodding much. I loved that series last year, so the year before last, so I really wanted to read this series. This is 3 new heroes, 1 missing demigod, a curse that threatens to destroy them all. What do you want from me? She screamed. What have you done with him? Annabeth, said the bald dude. But we're going to leave. Let's get these 3 to camp and figure it out then. Those storm spirits might fight back. She fumed for a moment. Fine, she fixed Jason with a resentful look. We'll settle this later. She turned on her heel and marched towards the chariot. Piper shook her head. What's her problem? What's going on? Seriously, Leo agreed. We'll have to get you out of here, Butch said. I'll explain on the way. Cannot flipping wait. Yes, it's big, but the typesetting's quite big. It's like 1 I know I'll fly through, so I'm really, really excited by it. Then, now to the readathons. So, I think I'm doing, right, so I'm going to do 1 book for Her Story readathon at the first half. If I find other books either on the London trip or I don't know what's going to be added to the TBR halfway through the month. But at the moment, I wanted to go for 1 or 2 books on each of the readathons and then play it by ear because it is birthday month. I do want to try and take it easy, but I want to support my friends. So Her Story is run by, I know Charlotte from Coney Reads. I'm not great at doing all the other hosts, so please, I'll link at least 1 other host for each readathon down below and I'll try and get the hashtags right. But for Her Storyathon, I know this one definitely matches the prompt, and this one definitely matches it because it's about Mary Boleyn, the great and infamous whore. She is Anne Boleyn's sister. It's my non-fiction book for the month. It's not really small. I must admit, I've always been intrigued by Mary Boleyn because there's not much written about her. But she obviously did. We know she definitely had at least 1 / I think it's 2 of Henry VIII's children. She had quite an interesting life. She was definitely the sister who got knocked off her pedestal. Ended up saving her life in a lot of ways. So this is for Her Story readathon because it's about an actual person in history. So that's what this is about. So it's basically a book literally about Anne Boleyn. It's written, Mary Boleyn, sorry. It's written by Alison Weir, so I know I'm going to like it. It is fiction, but it's one that kind of non-fiction, but it is one that grabbed me. So that's my book for that. Then for middle grade March, I will definitely be reading this one, but I will try and add another book midway through the month. I just got to decide which one I want. And this is The Secret Sunshine Project by Benjamin Dean. I loved Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow. We bought this on the last London trip, so I wanted to read it. It is literally, I thought sunshine, because I always think of sunshine in March because that's when it starts to appear again. Last summer, B. Riley, Mum and Dad had the best day ever at London Pride, but a year later everything's changed and a grey cloud is following the family around. When they move to the countryside, Bea decides she'll do whatever she takes to clear the clouds, especially for her older sister Riley. With the help of new friends, can Bea bring Riley's sunshine back for good? So this is the book for that. Hopefully I will pretty much definitely read another middle grade book, but this is the only one that's set on the TBR at the moment. Then probably the readathon I'm going for most this year is the Irish Readathon. Obviously I've got my TBR jar prompt. I will link, it is run by Lisa from Lisa's Bookland, Leanne from Leanne Rose Reads, and I think I will probably link Lisa's announcement video, but I will link both the channels, and they've also got 1 other host, which you'll find out on there. But I will link Lisa's because Lisa's channel is slightly smaller, so I want to kind of support Lisa, because also Lisa and Leanne are both absolutely lovely girls. I've met them twice on the London trips. They are absolute bloody diamonds, and I really wanted to support them. And I really wanted to read more Irish because I've got Irish authors this year, so let's support them. I've got that book. Obviously I'm not going to match books for all the prompts, but one of the ones that matches for the prompt is Emma Donoghue's Slammerkin. And this matches for the prompt of a book by your favourite genre. Historical fiction, I think I'm going to go with that. And this is that. It's one of Emma Donoghue's older works. I have got quite a few Emma Donoghue books, but this is one that really sort of drew me to it. And this is, I think it's one of her oldest books. Inspired by Slammerkin, a loose dress, a loose woman. I don't want to know too much. They've got like little review bits on the back. Inspired by fragments of the story from the newspapers of the day, Slammerkin tells the story of Mary Saunders, an 18th century girl who falls for the love of ribbon into prostitution and ultimate disaster. So, disaster, Victoria, I think it's like sort of set 18th century, so it's pre-Victorian, I believe. Could be interesting. Let's see what it does. I don't know anything more than that. This is one of, like I said, this is one of our older books, so I don't know a huge amount about it. And yeah, we'll see what I think. And then the next book for the Irish Readathon, and it's also the Irish Readathon's group book, and that is The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue. I think this looks like a pre-copy. This is my random copy that I got from the charity shop, but Leanne loved it last year. My sister Charlie loved it last year. Right, The Rachel Incident. When Rachel falls in love with her married professor, Dr. Byrne, her best friend James helps her devise a plan to seduce him. But what begins as a harmless crush soon pushes their friendship to its limits. Over the course of the year, they will find their lives more entwined with the burns and be faced with the impossible choices and a lie that can't be taken back. It's not too big. It's actually, even though the pages are big, it's a shorter book. It's a group book. It's a one that I've been really wanting to read because so many people have loved it. So let's see what I think. So that's the Readathons. Now a couple of extra little things. My big book for the month, and this is one that I think I'm gonna space this out over the course of the month because it is flipping gigantic. This is Michael Faber's The Crimson Petal and the White. It is a chunky. Crap, I'm screwed. What have I let myself in for? 833 pages. So I think how I'm definitely going to play this, where like with the Bronte book, I'm going to, again, the Bronte book and this one will be read over the course of the month. It does help that now that I've only got one buddy read. So I'm going to space this out over the course of the month. It is mahoosive, but I've heard good reviews about it. Sugar, an alluring 19-year-old prostitute in the brothel of peculiar Miss Castaway, yearns for a better life. And when she's visited by William Rackham, the somewhat reluctant heir to the Rackham perfumeries, she begins an ascent through the strata of 18th century London. In a society that offers us both intimacy and a lovable, maddening, and suddenly superbly realised characters. The typesetting small. What have I let myself in for? Charlie made me buy this last year, so I'm blaming Charlie. But yeah, so that's my big book for the month. I can put that there because I've already written that in my book. I'm having piles here, so I know which ones I'm doing. I'm filming early today. So my book by tandem, I think this is, at the moment, this is the only AdPR book that I've got, but I don't know if I'm going to get accepted for more readathons. And this is Love Lottie, and it will be read towards the end of the month because that's when I'm doing my thingy. So it's my AdPR book, but it's a sequel to Dear Lottie, which I read last year. And this is Kathleen longs for a child to complete their family. So when her parents sent her 16-year-old sister Lottie's to London after secretly giving birth to a daughter, could this bundle be the answer to her prayer? So it's Kathleen's story. Betty lives a good life in Paris with close-knitted family around her, but when her uncle turns up the night before her wedding, family secrets are exposed, leaving her to decide where she belongs. Grace promised her unborn child that she would be a better mother than her own, but when her husband Henry shows little affection and hides away in his shed, she struggles to keep her promise. Oh, this looks like it's got different timelines. Sarah is used to her parents being different. Her mum is always ill and her dad works around the clock. However, when she starts reading books by the author Lottie Ridley, her life changes forever. Ooh. I'm really intrigued by this. I did enjoy the last book, but this looks really even more exciting. So let's see what that one's like. Now to a book that, it's got a beach on the thing, so I probably should have left it for summer. But Katie from Books and Things raved about it last year. Mrs. Nashs Ashes, and she raved about it last year. 2 love stories, decades apart, one chance to prove love is worth the ride. Yes, it looks like a summary book. Yes, I probably shouldn't have chosen it, but I wanted to, so stopped it. Former childhood star and die-hard romantic, Millie is bound for the Key West from Washington, D.C. She's determined to fulfill a promise to her elderly neighbour, elderly best friend, Mrs. Nash, by reuniting her ashes with her long-lost love. And if this grand gesture also happens to reassure a recently heartbroken Millie that believing in love isn't foolish, for the better. When flights are grounded, Millie is forced to catch a ride with Hollis, who is also stranded near stranger. Hollis is a rising literary star who doesn't believe that in forever loves, or even for now loves. He's headed to Miami for a no strings attached hookup in the hope of curing writer's block. And in the way, this does look really good. It's one that I found as a bargain at the works last year, and sorry, I know it looks summary, but I don't care. Then to a book by a favourite author, Ali Hazelwood. I really love Ali Hazelwood book. This is Love Theoretically. Cat from Brews and Reviews loved this. A few of my friends have loved it. Apparently it does go along the lines of love on the brain, the love hypothesis, but I wanted to read it. I don't know why. It was just, there's no logical reason why I've added this to my TBR, but sod it. The many lives of theoretical physicist Elsie Hannaway are finally caught up with her. By day, she's an adjunct professor toiling away at the grading labs and teaching thermodynamics in the hopes of landing tenure. But by other day, Elsie makes her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend, tapping into the expertly honed people-pleasing skills to embody whatever version of herself the client needs. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet gig until her carefully constructed Elsie verse comes crashing down, because young Jack Smith, the annoyingly attractive and arrogant older brother of her favourite client, turns out to be a cold-hearted experimental physicist who ruined her mentor's career and undermined the reputation of theorists. I can't say that bloody word. And the same Jack Smith who rules over the physics department in MIT, standing right between Elsie and her dream job. There you go. Let's see what this is like. No idea. We'll see. Then I thought historical fiction. It had the word sister on the title, so for birthday month, thought I'd read it for that. The Forgotten Sister. And this is some Tudor. It's got some Tudor times in it. Part of it is set in 1560, which is to do with Amy Robsart is trapped in a loveless marriage with Robert Dudley. Well, we all know about him. So that's not... I think it's like Elizabethan time, actually, because it's just after Tudor. A member of the court of Queen Elizabeth I. Surrounded by her enemies and with nowhere left to turn, Amy hatches a desperate scheme to escape, one with devastating consequences that will echo through the centuries. And you've got present timeline. When Lizzie Kingdom is forced to withdraw from the public eye in a blaze of scandal, it seems her young life is over. She's about to encounter a young man, Johnny Robsart, oh, same surname, whose fate will also interlace with hers in the most unexpected of ways. For Johnny is certain that Lizzie is linked to a terrible secret dating back to the Tudor times. Let's see what this is like. Then I thought Dinah Jeffries' Daughters of War, because I bought the sequel in the library. Screwed myself up again. It's 532 pages. It is set Helena. I did like Dinah Jeffries' works, so I'm looking forward to it. Helena, I think, the protector, vows to keep her sister safe. Elise, the rebel, is determined to help with the resistance, whatever the cost. And Florence, the dreamer, just yearns for a world where France is free. When the allies come knocking at the door for help, Helena cannot sit on the sidelines for longer. This looks great. Big, but it does look really good. And I'm just, yeah, really excited. I'm going to save my book that I'm most excited about till last. So I'll tell you the next one, which is my contemporary for the month, another contemporary. Claire Pooley's The People on Platform 9. I got this hardback in a charity shop. I don't care that I paid a bit more for this. I love the Authenticity Project, and this apparently is similar to that. Nobody talks to strangers on the train. It's the first rule of commuting, but what would they do if they did? Every day on the 8:05, Iona Everson boards the train to go to work. Every day she sees the same people and makes assumptions about them, even giving them nicknames, but they never speak, obviously. Then one morning, smart but sexist Surbiton chokes on a grape right in front of Iona. Too good to be true, maid Malden steps up to help and saves his life. And this one event sparks a chain reaction. With nothing in common but their commute, the eclectic group of people learn that their assumptions about each other don't match reality. When Iona's life begins to fall apart, her new friends are there when she needs them the most. This looks good. And I think I might start the month with this, because I'm obviously doing the train journeys when we go to meet our friends in London. So I think I might read that. Because me and Charlie did speak to people when we went on the Underground last time, because I was nervous. So, yeah. And then last but not least, this is Bridget Kemner's new book, The Destroy the Day. It's the last in this series. I can't remember what the series is called. Defy the Night series. And I really can't say too much more, because it's Defy the Night was the first book, Defend the Dawn was the second, this is the third. We've got about Prince Coric, we've got Oren Crane, we've got Tessa, Lachlan, lots of exciting things. It is again big flipping book, but I cannot wait. I've just found out that we've got the second book in another series, the next, not the Cursebreaker series, the other series that's coming out next January. So I have to wait a year for each one of her books. But this looks so good. I need to find out what happened. It's chunky. It's over 500 pages. I'm screwed. But this looks good. I need to know what happened to all these characters. I need to tie up the series. So yes, in some ways this is a series book, but it's one I'm super excited about. So March is a month full of big books. May add that in the comment, in the little thumbnail thing when I do it. But what books are you excited for in March? Have you got any big events in March? Oh, which were the readathons are you taking part in? Let me know down below. If you got to the end of this video, because it's my birthday month, leave a birthday, any birthday emoji, like a birthday cake or something like that. Leave a birthday emoji in the bottom of the video. You might see a few of that. Actually, yeah, leave a birthday cake emoji in the bottom of the video, in the comments and descriptions. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, bring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.